Sawadee Bonjour et bienvenue, mes amis, and welcome to the Rouge Review question and answer edition. It is my birthday week coming up, so I wanted to do something fun, a little silly, a little different to celebrate that, and opened up questions on all of my social media for people to submit things that they wanted me to answer. And everybody really came through with that. I appreciate it so much. It wouldn't have been very much fun if I didn't have that many questions to answer. So thank you everybody for sending in such good questions. Um, if you are new here, my name is Red, also known as Red of the Turks. I have a YouTube channel here called The Rouge Review, where I review Thai BL shows, specifically ones made by Demundi. Um, it is geared toward beginners or people who maybe don't know a whole lot about BL or have never watched BL. Um, I try to make it a little more accessible because it can be intimidating to start into something new like that when you don't know anything about the fandom and everybody seems to be a super fan, or you don't know the language or the culture or things like that. Um, I also am no expert. I just like to perhaps be the friend that helps you kind of cross that bridge to get into it until you can start learning things on your own. Making things easier for others to enjoy is something that I really like to do with my time. I also have an audiobook library. Right now, it is only Danmei novels. There are 4 novels so far in the library: Heaven Official's Blessing, Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, Thousand Autumns, and my current work in progress is The Disabled Tyrant's Beloved Pet Fish. Um, those are completely free, and if you are interested in listening, then you can check out the links that are in my channel description and enjoy those books. I accessibility is a big thing for me, so I want everybody to have the chance to enjoy these awesome TV shows and books, everything like that. I also do a little bit of cosplay, though not very much anymore, and have done modeling for several years. Um, I don't have much time to go to conventions and such the way that I used to, but I used to be like a semi-professional cosplayer. So that's pretty much it for my introduction. I have my note cards here of look how many questions we have. Oh, I was gonna fan them out. Here we go. Yeah, look how many questions we have. Make sure that didn't unfocus the camera. I'm super excited to get started, so I'm going to try to give as thorough of answers as I can, and hopefully everyone enjoys. It's afternoon here, I forgot to say, and I have myself a little cup of tea. This is called Vanilla Fireside Spice. It's delicious. As I have mentioned before, I am trying to cut back on the alcohol during the winter because I have very terrible seasonal depression and it tends to make me sad. So we are going ahead with the tea this time. I also have some water here just in case. So, sorry, without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the questions. Okay, first question is, where are you from? I have strangers stop me on the street or at the grocery store or the mall or wherever and ask me this in real life all the time. Also on the internet, but I mean, people literally stop me on the street and ask me this. And what I have come to notice is what they mean by that is, why do you have a funny accent? Or what is your ethnicity? So, to answer the question outright, I am from the United States, from the southeastern part of the United States. Um, that is why part of my accent sounds the way that it does. My ethnicity, I am Cherokee Native American, and for those people who are not from the United States and may not know, that is a small indigenous tribe that is from the southeastern area of the United States. The Eastern Band specifically is the one I am part of, but there are some other Cherokee tribes out in the West. And my mother's family is English. So that's kind of how that got all mixed up in there. The genetic lottery was interesting. I have the exact opposite features of my brother. So I have black hair and lighter skin and blue eyes. My brother does also have blue eyes, but he has like that typical mousy brown hair color that all English people have and freckles. And but he also has very dark skin. So uh, I don't know how we ended up like that, but we did. And also, when I was a child, I learned French. And then when I got older, I studied classical voice at uni. So, all of those things I think contributed to the way that I talk now, and specifically the sound of my narration, like with the audiobooks. So, hopefully that covers everything that you wanted to know. But yeah, as of right now until next year, I live in the southeastern United States. Next question. Cosplay and narration are both types of performance, so what would you say is the most challenging and the most rewarding part of each? This is a great question. I was actually super excited to answer this one when I saw it. Um, so I'll go one at a time. Cosplay, I don't do so much anymore, but definitely the most challenging part of cosplay was creating something that basically does not exist. So I started cosplaying before 3D printers were a thing that everybody and their mother had. So basically, I was making armor, weapons, items that do not exist in real life out of whatever medium that I could possibly use. Whether that's building them out of foam or trying to put together household items into a conglomeration of something that looks like this item from a game. And many times there were not good pictures of these things. I mean, it would probably be like a blurry screenshot from a PlayStation game. And that's all you have to go on. And then the rest is just you figure it out for yourself. So that definitely was the most challenging part of cosplay. And also the discomfort that comes with wearing a lot of those costumes. Sometimes I would go to cons and have to wear it for, I don't know, 14 hours a day or longer. And oh boy, you want to talk about as you get older, it becomes less and less fun to be uncomfortable. Yeah. Okay, so on the flip side of that, the most rewarding part of the cosplay piece is, I guess, pulling that off. Specifically for me, one of the most rewarding experiences was creating the wig for Axel from Kingdom Hearts. And if you've ever played Kingdom Hearts, then you know that the outfits and the hair in that game are insane. So, one year I did Axel for Katsukan, and that wig was one huge, and I drove myself 8 hours up there so that I could keep this wig perfect on a stand in the back of my car. Um, but it was realistic looking, but also matched the way that the character looked in the game, and it was one of my proudest achievements. I'm very picky about the hair when it comes to cosplay because I do think that it should look realistic and fit, you know, your face and frame it the right way. And I don't know, that's my one thing. Everybody has a thing. My thing is the hair. So that was it. Axel, Kingdom Hearts. If I have to say I nailed it on one of them, that had to be it. Also, many, many years ago, I had some of my Final Fantasy VII cosplay photos when I was Reno, shared by the official Final Fantasy VII Twitter and that was back when I had Twitter. I don't have it anymore. That was a really rewarding moment too, because I worked really hard on getting the look down perfectly. And he had several versions. I made several weapons until I got it down to the wire, what I thought was perfect. And then it was appreciated by the official account. So that was great. That was my most rewarding. Um, with narration, the most challenging part, I think, is just to give every character a voice, and a voice that I feel like fits them. I do put a lot of thought into what voices I give each character because one, it has to fit them, and two, they need to be different enough so that when someone is listening, if they struggle with the unfamiliar names, that they will be able to tell when different characters are speaking. I have a lot of people say that that is what makes the difference between reading and listening to the audiobook, is that they can finally keep track of when different people are speaking. So, making sure that everyone has a voice, it suits their character, and it's different from the other ones enough to where people can identify when different people are speaking all in the same conversation, that's tough. But it's fun. It's the fun kind of challenge, not one that I dislike. It's been one of the best parts. TGCF had a huge ensemble cast, and that was the first one I ever did. So finally, by the end of it, I feel like I got everybody's voices down pat. I wish I could redo that one, but it is what it is. The most rewarding part of that is along the same lines, is being able to nail the voice with the appropriate amount of emotion. So, especially with MDZS, but with all of them, being able to pull off a scene that is emotionally charged, whether that's on the verge of tears or screaming with anger or genuinely laughing, um, if I'm able to listen back and hear that emotion as I am delivering the line clearly and it's easily understood, that's a win for me. Specifically, MDZS was something I'm very proud of because there were many, many scenes that are very emotionally distressing. And honestly, when I read these things out loud, I am also on the verge of tears. So just trying to get it out and making sure that emotion stays there, but it's clear enough to understand through the audio, is a fun challenge. And when it works, and even I tear up when I'm listening to it, like that, that's a huge moment of pride for me. So hopefully that answered the question well enough. What is your secret to staying so fabulous? I thought this question was so funny, and I know exactly who asked it, so thank you. Um, my answer to that is you must first think you are fabulous before you have any secrets to share, and I definitely do not consider myself fabulous in any respect. But I feel like when people ask me things like this, what they really mean is, how are you so comfortable in front of the camera or with whatever I'm doing? And the answer to that is just years of doing it and practice. I was born without shame. So I have always been myself, and I've never held back with that, even if that meant that I was considered a big weirdo, which I was considered most of my life, a humongous weirdo, especially where I grew up. Um, but also, so I've been modeling since I was a teenager. And what they don't tell you about that is you have to get really comfortable as a model with looking ugly and seeing that part of yourself. Because for every beautiful $1 million shot, there's about 10,000 behind that where you just look hideous. Whether it is the bad angle, bad lighting, your mouth is open because you're talking, you learn to get really comfortable with the human part of yourself, because what's cool about being human is that nobody's perfect. And if you can appreciate that and know that there's going to be one great shot out of 10,000 and that's fine, you'll find it, it makes you a lot more comfortable in front of the camera. So that's my answer to that. I hope it was a decent one. Definitely do not feel like I'm a fabulous person, but I am unabashedly myself. And I think that's the answer that everybody needs. Okay. What are you most excited about with moving besides just being out of the United States? Just being out of the United States is already a big plus. But the number one thing that I am most excited about is that we are moving to a country where there is no winter. I hate winter. Seasonal depression, as I said. I have a lot of pain when it gets cold. It's just not fun. Yeah, it's just not something that I ever want to experience again, thankfully. I hope that this will be the very last one that I have to endure. So that's the biggest thing. No more winter. I don't care about the rainy season. I just don't want it to be winter and cold anymore. When it's my birthday next year, it will be over 80 degrees outside. And I'm so excited. I might actually start celebrating my birthday, which is not something that I have done in many, many, many years. So I'm excited about that. I'm also excited that my younger son is coming too, and he is enthusiastic about it and wants to learn the language. He's been learning a little bit along with me. He's already got a list of places that he wants to go. He wants to visit so many things while we're there. So I'm excited to share that experience too. I mean, how cool to be 12 and get to move to the other side of the world and experience something new. Oh my gosh, my 12-year-old self would have been screaming. It's just so cool. And I know it sounds scary to some people, but he's just running headfirst into it. So I'm excited about that too. What made you fall for Z and Nunu as a couple or as individuals? Um, I just finished reviewing Cutie Pie, the series, and now I have started The Next Prince, and both of those star Z and Nunu. So I know why I got this question. But before I answer it, I want to say, just for posterity's sake, that my Demundi bias, I guess, my favorites are Tudor and Yim. That is my number one favorite couple. I love them both individually. Um, I will forever and always be number one Tudor Yim. They're the reason that I got into any BL at all. So I owe them a lot and I just love them. So, with all of that out of the way, what made me love Z and Yu? So, the biggest thing that caught my eye about them is that they just genuinely love being around each other, and that's evident in all ways, whether they're acting or it's behind the scenes or they're just doing interviews. I truly believe that they unconditionally love each other. And they're a great example, I feel like, of a healthy relationship. And honestly, I'm a little jealous that they get to spend so much time together and work together. I think that would be a dream for me, is just working with someone that I loved and enjoyed being with all the time. Like, how cool. Um, and they do it so well too. They truly complement each other. Like, one's skills go perfectly with the other, and they are always encouraging each other and bragging about the other one. When one does an interview, they spend half of it talking about the other one's accomplishments or promoting what they're doing. And I really admire that a lot. And as far as individuals, of course, Nunu's singing, his voice is gorgeous. He's a great dancer. He looks great. I love his fashion sense too. He definitely has the perfect androgynous look that I've always wanted. He's just gorgeous. And see, I really appreciate his skill as a model. As someone who's done that type of work before, I can easily tell that he knows how to for lack of a better phrase, work the camera. He knows what he's doing in front of the camera. He can turn that on and just work. And then you can easily tell that it's not him when he's not in front of the camera. But his fashion modeling, photographing is just spot on. He really knows his angles and what looks good on him and how to work with that. So I admire him a lot with that. And he just seems like such a funny, genuinely nice person. And I appreciate that about him. So I think they're really cool. They're definitely in like my top three. Um, but Tudor and Yim are always going to be my number one. Next question. What is a typical day like for you? So, unfortunately, this is a really boring answer because I am, as of right now, a really boring person. I just do what everyone does. I get up and I have to get the little one ready for school. I mean, he's not that little, he's 12, but get him ready for school, get me ready for school, work. I work 8 hours a day. I do payroll, taxes, accounting, things like that. I know, super exciting and fun. And then I go get my kid from school. We just finished up volleyball season, so he usually plays in the spring and the fall. Last season I was the coach, but this season I do not have one extra brain cell for doing that. But when we get home, usually if I have audio book to record, then I'll do that after dinner, or I try to take in at least one small Thai lesson per day, get some practice in. And I play a lot of Stardew Valley because most of the time, by the end of the day, my brain is so worn out that I just, I want to romance my pixelated husband and grow some corn. So that's pretty much it. Now we're going to do some rapid fire questions. Hopefully they'll be, if not a one-word answer, then pretty quick to answer. I'll try not to give any long-winded ones for these. So, favorite color is red. How old are you? Well, since you asked and it is my birthday week, I will say it once and once only, but I'm never going to say it again. This week I am 39 years old. So I was born in the year of the fire tiger, which I do love, but I will probably never say that on camera ever again. What other hobbies do you enjoy? So, right this moment, I don't have a lot of time for other hobbies, but generally, I mean, I enjoy the cosplay and the audiobook reading. I like to read in general. Um, what else do I do? Pretty much just study Thai if I'm not working on something for YouTube or the audiobook library. And I do consider that a hobby. I'm doing it for survival now, but I just genuinely enjoy learning the language. So I come home and, as I said, try to do at least one lesson per day. So, yeah. ช่วยฉันด้วย Favorite Christmas movie? I don't know if it really counts as a movie, but it is a Christmas special. It's just the original Charlie Brown Christmas. That is my number one favorite Christmas anything. I've been obsessed with the music since I was a child. So I watch it every Christmas, and sometimes I watch it even when it's not Christmas because I love it that much. It just has a very relaxing quality, and the music is unbeatable. So, Charlie Brown Christmas. What book do you wish had an adaptation, and what kind of adaptation? I don't know if this means just anime novels or if this means any novel, so I'll give a quick answer to both. I do think that Thousand Autumns would make an amazing live action series with everything that they can do with television now. The fight scenes are a major part of that series, and I just think it would be so cool to have something like the level of the Untamed, but for Thousand Autumns. And I've seen like fan cast photos of different Chinese actors that could fill the roles of the main couple. And oh, that if it ever came down to could I get a live action version of one Danmei book, it would be Thousand Autumns. It's my favorite one in general, but I just think that would be so fun to watch. Um, as far as just any book ever, this book has a lot of adaptations, but not necessarily very good ones. My favorite book ever is Alice in Wonderland, and there have been a bazillion versions of that, right? But I think if we had a really good direct, like Guillermo del Toro level, someone who can embrace the weirdness and the slightly horrific nature of it and use all practical effects like with Labyrinth and Star Wars where they got into that. I mean, you marry those two together. Think of like The Shape of Water and Pan's Labyrinth and then apply that to Alice in Wonderland. Oh, I just that would be the epitome for me of adaptations. Maybe one day we'll get one like that, but it would have to be practical effects and it would have to be borderline scary. I mean, there is a lot of really eccentric bits of that. I mean, there is some scary storyline in there, but it would take someone who really loves their craft and really, really loves that book to pull it off. So maybe one day. Do you have a favorite T-pop, C-pop, K-pop, J-pop artist? I love all Thai pop music. It's just so catchy and fun, and it has a lot of different instruments in there. I really enjoy all of it, but admittedly, I've been listening to Dex a lot just because Tudor and Yim were in that band, and I fell in love with it instantly. My son and I listen to Clang Clang in the car pretty much every morning. So I really enjoy them a lot. They do like other more classic ones, PP Crit and Bokilian and the Tilly Birds. What is some other stuff I've listened to? I don't know. It everything that's Thai pop. I love it. Um, I don't know if this counts as Thai pop or K-pop, but I really like Bam Bam too. But I didn't know who he was until he released this Thai album, Hometown. And then I found out that he used to be in a K-pop group. So I don't know if that really counts, but that album specifically is so good. Jeff Satur is in there, and I really love his music too. And Time Thai. Okay, I just named a whole bunch of T-pop people that I like. But Bam Bam is really good right now. As far as C-pop, Xiaojian's album that came out last year, I think it was. It's been out for a little while now. Woman, that is one of my favorite albums ever. Every song is a banger. He's a great singer. They had those music videos made specially for it. Everything about that as a performance piece is phenomenal, and I still sob every time that I hear the last song on the album. So that's been doing the rounds in my head since it came out. Is your hair real? Yes. I think when people ask me this, and people do ask me this all the time in real life, like in public, they don't mean like, is my hair a wig? But is your hair color real? So, yes, this is my real hair. It's my real white streak. I've had it in my hair since I was about 20, and I used to dye this part so that it would match the rest of my black hair. But I don't anymore because one day I realized that people had very similar streaks like this and they were doing it on purpose, like they were bleaching their hair to get this. And I was like, well, shit, I can just do that for free. And so I grew it out and now it's just here hanging out. Fun fact that goes along with that is my mom actually has had silvery white hair all of her hair is silver white and has been since she was in her early 20s. Um, and I have a brother that's 4 years younger than I am, and he already has like salt and pepper gray and brown hair. So they did get more of that, but I got the one white streak, and I've had it for almost 20 years. So yeah, it's real. Okay. What show, anime, or series do you wish had a sequel? Okay, that's a toughie because right out the gate, I would say I wish that Thousand Autumns season 2 would be released because I think they already made it and it just got shut down because of all the censorship stuff in China. So I always wish to see season 2 of Thousand Autumns. Um, but another one is the Donghua version of TGCF, Have an Official's Blessing. I do not think that they will ever animate the rest of the story. That's just, I think, with censorship, the what it is now, that they're not going to do it. But I always wish that they would, because I want to see further into the story animated, specifically more with Windmaster and Watermaster. I had a chance to talk to Alejandro Saab at a convention that I went to a few years ago, and he's like my number one choice to voice the Water Master. Like, as soon as I heard his voice and I knew who that character was, I was like, oh, it's just gotta be him. And if you know who he is, I hope you agree. I mentioned it to him when we were talking, and he immediately looked it up and then texted Howard, who is the voice of Cillian, and was like, "So, how about this?" And the disappointing part is I think that the show will never make it that far. But if it does, I am hoping that Alejandro will get the part of Watermaster. And if it does, please know that I put that bug in his ear like a year or two ago, and I'm still wishing for it now. So that's my hope for the future. How do you choose and prepare for reading an audiobook? So, in the past, like when I first started doing it, it was just I read aloud what I loved. I did Heaven Official's Blessing as the first one. The whole reason I started it was because I had a friend who couldn't really read the physical novels. Not that he can't read, but had a hard time, is not good with physical reading, and does a lot better with audiobooks, can pay attention easier and can take in the story better. So I was like, well, I mean, if you want to finish, I'll read it. And I started doing it and I was like, oh, this is fun. I think I really want to do this and then share it. Maybe other people need it too. And then it turned out that no one else had ever finished it. So people did want to listen to it. And it shocked me, honestly. I didn't think more than like a couple of people were going to be interested in it. And that turned out not to be true. So after doing that one and getting more comfortable with it, I was like, well, hey, now I want to do another one. And I had never read the novel version of MDZS. I had seen The Untamed, and I had read like the um, snippets that I would see on the internet, but I had not sat down and read the full novel. So we experienced that one all together new. I read that one after TGCF. Then I felt like I had practiced enough to do Thousand Autumns. Thousand Autumns is my favorite, so I definitely didn't want to mess it up by feeling like a noob. So I did that one. And then for Disabled Tyrant's Beloved Pet Fish, that one is probably not something that I would have read normally on my own choice, but it was recommended to me by tons of people and everybody seems to be really enjoying it. It's fun, it's silly, and it is interesting to me because it's not something that I would have chosen for myself. So I record what I love, but I also take suggestions from my friends or anybody who enjoys listening. For preparing, I usually have to at least read what I'm about to record ahead of time so that I can make sure that I understand what's going on and the voices that I'm going to give the characters. That's really it, is making sure that I understand the characters well enough to give them a voice. Because it's hard to know when you haven't read the book. And especially, like, let's use the fish book, for example. I didn't know at the beginning what characters were going to be important later. So what if I gave a really important character a really forgettable voice, or vice versa? I gave a really unique voice to a guy who had like one line. So that part is kind of hard. So I try to get prepared by knowing at least a little bit or who I'm going to have to voice. But honestly, with the Disabled Tyrant's Beloved Pet Fit, I can't even say it. With the fish book, I really did just fly with by the seat of my pants and hope for the best. I have not read a lot of it ahead of time. Sometimes, as I'm recording it, is the first time that I've read it. Period. Now that I know the characters, so yeah. Okay, this one's a toughie. What has been your favorite book to narrate so far? And I feel like there's multiple answers to that because my favorite book, just in general, is Thousand Autumns, and I really, really enjoyed doing Yin Wuxie's voice. Mostly because it's just kind of the way I talk when I talk with friends, instead of like his tone and his sarcastic comments, things like that. That's more me. So aside from like giving him a specific sound of voice, that was really fun for me to read. Um, but I will say that TGCF was probably my favorite, as in the most fun, just because of the wide variety of characters that there was in that book. Um, I tried to go way over the top, all out with TGCF because it's just so funny and they're all so different. And I think it turned out really well. Like, some of them are so fun. Even to me now, I know I'm the one that did it, but sometimes I hear it now and it makes me laugh. Like Tirong's voice. Oh my, still, I'm like, how did I do this? And then just different ones are funny to me. The expressions are funny, and getting to play with so many different things was really a blast. I will say, like, book 5 of that series was real. It really hit my stride there, and I enjoyed it a whole lot. And I really liked doing the Blackwater arc because I don't usually get such high emotion in one scene, and there was like anger and sadness and hysterics and everything. So you should check that out if you get a chance. Okay, now we've got some more quick questions. So it's like name 3 favorites of different things. Um, name 3 favorite fashion designers. I don't know about designers like specific people, but I can tell you like some designer brands too. I do love fashion like a lot. Number 1 favorite ever, McQueen, Alexander McQueen. I've never seen a McQueen piece that I did not want. Um, it's just the epitome of everything that I would wear. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's McQueen, it was made for me. Second favorite, kind of along the same lines, is Versace. I don't think I've seen any Versace that I wouldn't wear, and most of my accessories and like my glasses and things like that are all Versace because I just love that iconic, bold, black and gold, and the specifically like the Greco collection with the geometrics and everything. Love that. But I love all Versace. A third one, I like a lot of different things. I don't know. It's mostly what I've been buying because I'm influenced by other people. I like Bulgari jewelry. I love jewelry. Um, I want the serpent necklace so bad. And I've recently bought some Lacoste, but that was only because Ongibo is a model for them and he's going to be having his own collection with them. So I've been really interested in that. But some of the pieces that he's worn, I bought because I really liked them. Um, yeah, that's about it. It's more about other celebrities that I see, and if I just like a certain piece, that I might just get that one. So, three favorite foods. Number one, just a plain old classic curry, like Indian curry. Actually, just any Indian food whatsoever is my number one. I could eat anything, but I love just a solid curry with rice. Number two, here at the restaurants, they will usually call it like Singapore street noodles, but it's just rice, the really thin rice noodles, stir fried with vegetables, or you can get meat in there with spicy curry. So another curry dish. I really love curry. I should have just said curry in general is number one. Um, but the spicy curry noodles is my second favorite. Third favorite, I would just say anything spicy at all. I do love most Mexican food, and here where I live, we have a lot of people that move here from Mexico, so we have really good Mexican food in this area. Um, but also, I grew up on a farm, and my father and I would challenge each other to eat the raw peppers like straight off the plant. And we used to grow like really spicy peppers, like habaneros and Carolina Reapers and ghost pepper, things like that. Like we grew hot peppers. And that was always fun, was to see who could take a bite of this the hottest peppers. I just really love spicy food, all spicy food. So, three favorite movies. Number one favorite movie of all time, period, is The Philadelphia Story. It stars Katharine Hepburn, Jimmy Stewart, and Cary Grant. It is the best movie that I have ever seen. I'm not saying it's the best movie ever made, but to me, it is my favorite. Number two favorite is Sideways, starring Paul Giamatti. That came out when I was in high school and I was working at the movie theater, but that movie changed me as a person, and I still love it to this day. Paul Giamatti is flawless in that movie, and it's so sad, but it's so good. And my third favorite, probably The Fellowship of the Ring, the first Lord of the Rings movie. That came out when I was a freshman in high school, and I saw it 7 times in the theater. The filmmaking and the acting, the costume design, everything, the score, there is not a part of that movie that isn't perfect. I just could not stop going to see it because it was such a masterpiece. And then when they came out with the special edition DVDs, I watched every hour of the behind the scenes. It was just fascinated me. I ended up minoring in film when I was at uni because I just love that kind of stuff so much. So, yeah, you should check it out if you've never seen it. It's long as hell, but it's so good. Do you have a favorite pair of socks? Yes, I love socks. Just in general, I love all fuzzy socks. I wear socks all the time at my house. I like to keep the dogs covered. I don't like them uncovered. But my favorite pair, it's not sadly that interesting, but they do feel like a fluffy blanket on the inside. They look boring and plain on the outside, but the inside is like a plush blanket, and I love it so much. The cutest pair that I ever had was a pair that had like a hedgehog in a frying pan cooking some breakfast over a fire. Don't ask me where I got those. I don't know, but they were cute. So, yeah, I have a favorite pair of socks. What places would you like to travel to the most? That's a tough question because there's many, many answers, and I've traveled a lot. I've been to a lot of the places that I've wanted to visit since I was a kid, but there are still so many. My brother went to Jordan last year and saw the cities that are like down in the canyon where they're carved into the side of the canyon. That was stunning. I do wish to go see that someday in my life. Also, when we move to Thailand, I do plan to go see a lot of the temples in Cambodia. That was something that I've wanted to see since I was a little kid, and I thought I would never ever get the chance to, and now I'm so close. So, my brother actually spent last half of last year just traveling all around Asia and then back through Africa and then into Europe, and he went to so many of the places that I would have loved to go. And so now I'm gonna go and see them because it's my turn. Another place that I really want to go before I die is China. Um, and I know sometimes that's good for tourists and sometimes it's not so great for tourists, but I really want to see so much stuff there. The geography and the land is so gorgeous and they have so many different things, and everything there is so old. It's one of the things that I have always disliked about the United States is that a lot of the buildings and the architecture that we have here, they don't have any, they do have history, but they're just not that old. Um, Even going over to Europe, I mean, it was significantly a different experience. And then, you get into Asia and everything's even older than that. So I also want to see the tomb where they have all of the clay soldiers buried, like the thousands of clay soldiers. And they all have, different clothing and faces. And I just think that's so amazing. And I would like to see the Great Wall, of course. So any and all of China, I would love to see as much as possible. Um, it's on my bucket list. Okay, time for the final question, and it's a good one, and it's one that I have a lot to say about, so sorry in advance. But this is the last one. Um, what would you say that you find the most satisfying when it comes to narrating? Um, Definitely the emotional part of it. If I can listen back to it and lose myself in the emotion of the moment, whether I think it's funny, if it makes me cry, if it makes my hair stand on end, whatever that is, if I'm able to listen back to it and kind of forget that I was part of it, then that is that's my biggest win. Um, MDZS, I know I've kind of said this already, but there were so many scenes that were emotional, and I had tears rolling down my face while I was reading it, and then I would have to pause it because I would get too choked up to even say the words of the story. I love every part of the story, especially the East City arc. I did a lot of crying during that one. And listening back to it, and I can listen to it and just, it breaks my heart every time. That makes me feel like it's a success. Um, I guess that's just it. If I can enjoy it without thinking about this is me doing it, then it's so satisfying to me. I also just want to enjoy this story, but I want people to be able to hear the emotion and the passion and the joy that went into it. So, the other most satisfying thing is a comment that I get a lot, which is I don't speak English very well, but listening to this made it so much easier. Um, that's just something, it warms my heart every time. I do genuinely try to speak very clearly and concisely for people who may not have English as their first language. I want it to be slow enough to understand, clear enough to understand, and make it more enjoyable for people who may not be as familiar with English. And I just in general, just the way that I talk, I try to stay away from too much like slang or dropping things out. I've always been kind of obsessed with diction, even before I was doing narration or singing or anything like that. And then those two things made me pay more attention to it. But that's my other most satisfying thing is when people say that they are not native English speakers and had an easier time understanding my reading. So That's it. That's all the questions. We made it all the way through. Sorry, I think this turned out to be pretty long, but if you've stayed until the end, I really, really appreciate each and every one of you. This has been so much fun. I hope that you will come back and enjoy the next Prince with us. That's what I'm currently filming. Or if you want to listen to the audiobooks, perhaps you'll go check them out. You can follow me on Blue Sky or Tumblr at Red of the Turks. I talk a lot more there and share random things and also talk about what I'm doing on this channel. And next year, we're going to be watching Tudor and Yim's new series, which I'm super, super excited about. So there's a lot to look forward to with that as well. If you've never watched any Thai BL and you're curious about it, please give it a try. My very favorite BL show ever is the first one that I reviewed, Battle of the Writers. You can find it on this channel and maybe give it a try. So I hope that I will see you all back next time, and thank you, Popcorn Ka, for joining me today. Have a wonderful holiday this week, and I'll see you all next time.